And in this way, he's enacting the pastime of a devotee, how the devotee is always indebted to the Vaishnavas. You always feel that indebtedness to the devotees. Yes, because of the devotees, I feel the bliss, I get the bliss in devotional service. You are teaching me Bhagavad Dharma because I have personally accumulated heaps of pious activities. So you may say how such pious activities leads to devotional service. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmana. So which papa? The so-called pious activity is also considered as papa only, where the intention is to have the fortune of getting the place in heaven. But that type of fortune is rejected. That is also known as papa only. The desire to go in the higher planetary system is also one type of going in this material world only. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam. When such type of desires are also burnt, then a real punyakarmanam, that means loving Krishna, Bhagavad Dharma starts. So I have done previously heaps of pious activities. Here pious activities refers to somehow or the other I have served the Vaishnavas. That is why I have got this Bhagavad Dharma. Activities performed with a desire to enjoy immediate results, it is temporary, Smartha Dharma. Just now we said Smartha Dharma. What is a Smartha Dharma? Getting some immediate results like accumulation of gross material dhana or going to heavenly planets, or non-devotional atheistic Shakta Dharma. In the beginning, such activities give some apparent temporary material happiness like heavenly pleasures to those unfortunate fruity workers who are bewildered by false ego and attachment to sense gratification. Ultimately, they give the threefold miseries of material existence. So naturally, who wants to go to heavenly planets, he will also perform pious activities, but that pious activities is Smartha Dharma, Shakta Dharma. Although the subjects of non-devotional morality, knowledge, renunciation that are found in Smartha Dharma may at first sight appear immediately beneficial, they do not lead one to the ultimate goal of life. Even in the Shakta Dharma means there are worshippers of Shakti. There are worshippers of Smartha, that means worshippers of Lord Shiva. Even they are also having some type of renunciation. And they are also having some knowledge, but it may appear that they are also so much strict in following the rules and regulations. It may appear beneficial, but that is not going to give ultimate goal of life. Their fruits are temporary, ultimately yield bad results. But the fruit of cultivating Bhagavad Dharma is the awakening of the living entity's eternal, unadulterated auspiciousness. So what is the fruit of cultivating Bhagavad Dharma? So that one awakens his unadulterated consciousness. And that gives auspiciousness. Which auspiciousness? Where more devotional service is bestowed. And this is known as Vishnu Dharma. Tomara ye amara shikhau Vishnu Dharma. Not Shakta Dharma, not Shakti Dharma also. Not Shakta Dharma, not Smarta Dharma also. Vishnu Dharma. And Vishnu Dharma is one's occupational duty. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yatho bhaktir adhokshaje. That is our duty. Savai pumsam paro dharmo. What is that paro dharmo? Yatho bhaktir adhokshaje. The adhokshaje. That means worshipping the Lord who is beyond the material senses. He is adhokshaja. That is our spiritual occupational duty. Occupational duty is in relation with the Supreme Lord. Occupational, constitutional activities of the soul. These duties are explained in the following verses. Hari Bhakti Vilasa, 10th Vilasa states, Tatha Vaishnava Dharmamscha Kriyamanam Api Swayam Sampruche Tadvidah Sadhun Anyonyah Priti Vrdhaye Shraddhaya Bhagavad Dharman Vaishnavaya Nupuchate Avasyam Kathayed Vidwan Anyatha Dosha Bhavet. So, if a person engages in Vaishnava Dharma, We are not talking about now smarta dharma, shakta dharma, that is completely rejected. Even though a person is in knowledge or renunciation, he will not attain the goal of life. But a person who is engaged in Vaishnava dharma, then what he should do? Athato Brahma Jigyasa, he should always inquire. To whom? To the like-minded devotees. When an intelligent person is repeatedly questioned about Vaishnava dharma by a faithful person, he must glorify the principles of Bhagavad Dharma to such a devotee. Srila Prabhupada, whenever any doubts, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to ask, that Srila Prabhupada used to say, how best I can serve you? Please guide me in that. He used to not ask any other thing. This is the only question he also always had. And what is that? How best? Oh, Prabhupada. Was Prabhupada. Prabhupada used to address even Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur as Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is addressed as Prabhupada. So he used to ask, how best I can serve you? How best I can follow the Bhagavad Dharma? So if that question is not asked, then otherwise he will incur sin. Now just see. If a person is really interested in progressing in devotional service, then he should always make inquiries. The moment we think, I know everything, I have done Bhakti Shastri over, Bhakti Vaibhav over. Now what is more? I know everything. What is there to know? Ultimately, I have to chant only. Now, what is there? That means an inquiry to perform devotional service. That enthusiasm is not there. If that enthusiasm is not there, here very clearly it is said, Anyataha dosha bhaga bhavet. Slowly, slowly, that ahankara will accumulate only the sins. But the more we think, no, I want to know more, I want to serve more. Nakyati Vaishnavam Dharmam Vishnu Bhaktasya Pruchatah Kalau Bhagavato Bhutva Punyam Yati Shatabdikam. So if a devotee is questioned by another devotee regarding Vaishnava Dharma and he does not explain those principles to him, then whatever piety he has accumulated over the last 100 births is all lost. Now, both the ways. Now, if there is no inquiry, then he accumulates the sins. If he is inquiring and the other person, other devotee is not answering, then whatever piety he accumulated, that will be gone. That is why any doubts, why this pratha is there, any doubts. So this is a nice platform where inquiry should be there. See, the more inquiry, then the subject elongates. The moment we think, क्यों प्रश्न विश्न पूछते रहते हैं? Actually, one who is inquiring is always benefiting others also, himself also. The moment we think, why we should inquire? अरे कब क्लास खत्म होए भाई? हाँ, एक मिनट. Once. So the moment we think, अरे जल्दी क्लास खत्म करो भाई, कितना ये inquiry. But this inquiry is beneficial. If we don't have inclination to inquire, if we don't have inclination to know more, doesn't mean that you inquire something which is out of the subject. It is the inquiry within the subject. The more we inquire, understand, more piety we gain. And the more the person is answering, that person also gets piety. The more a person is frustrated with that inquiry, he loses whatever piety he has. The more a person relishes such a question answer session, then he gains the piety of both. Just see. Whole Bhagavatam is nothing but inquiry. What Arjuna did in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita could have ended in second chapter. Then Bhakti Shastri we could have finished in just 15 days or maybe 1 month. It was just elongation of the same jnana, yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, which has been again asked in Bhagavad Gita. Again, Arjuna has doubt. Somebody can say everything has been answered now in the second chapter. हाँ काम धाम नहीं है क्या कितना सारा प्रश्न पूछते रहते हैं. But then such inquiry is not only beneficial to know the subject more clearly for the inquirer, it is more wonderful for the speaker also because he gets a chance to understand the subject and teach the subject. The more deeper, the more wonderful. Like somebody asked a question, very nice question. I don't know where it was asked. I think in Ram Katha only somebody asked a question. Very nice question. I never expected such question. The question was, we say Sita Ram, we say Lakshmi Narayana, we say Radha Krishna. Why we don't say Parvati Shiva? What a wonderful question. Why we don't say Parvati Shiva? So then the answer was, it is not female male. It is energy energetic. It is energy energetic. Sita Ram, energy energetic. Then you have Radha Krishna, energy energetic. But then Shiva and Shakti, that is Parvati, both are energy of Lord. So how that each other they can become one energy, one energetic? So it is a wrong understanding. All we are Jivatmas, including we are Jivatmas in a lower degree. But Shiva Parvati, they are both are servants of Krishna. So they both cannot be kept in one place. In one place itself means you cannot, though you say Shiva Parvati, but they are not equalizing with Sitaram or Radha Krishna, because both are energies of Krishna only. So such inquiries brushes even the speaker's consciousness. And suppose speaker doesn't know, then he should say, I will let you know. Everything need not be known. But suppose a speaker doesn't know, he should accept that inquiry, appreciate it, and wait for getting an answer. So in that type of mood is there, then it's wonderful. And one should welcome the inquiries, not feel frustrated. So it is said here, both will lose if we don't appreciate. In the Kashi Khanda Dwarka Mahatmya, Chandra Sharma speaks the following words: I will not eat anything on the day of Ekadashi. I will constantly remain awake. I will worship you every day with festivals. I will eat on those days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami when they are even slightly mixed, being touched by another tithi. I will observe the 8 types of Mahadvadashi for your pleasure. I will engage in your devotion service with my life and wealth. I will regularly recite your 1,000 names. I will regularly worship you with Tulasi. I will wear beads made of Tulasi. I will chant and dance throughout the day and night of Ekadashi. I will smear my body with the pulp of Tulasi wood. And thereafter I will sing your glories. I will visit Mathura every year. I will study literatures describing your glories and hear topics about you. I will regularly touch the water that has washed your feet to my head. I will duly accept your remnants. I will touch your garland remnants to my head. I will offer you my favorite items. And then take your remnants. I will offer you my favorite item. Just see here. And then take your remnants. Oh Krishna, I swear before you that I will perform only those activities that are pleasing to you. So here, very nicely, Chandra Sharma is giving all these woes. So in this woes, there is one important point. I will offer what I like. So it is not so easy to give what one likes. So my favorite item, that means I will cook it with more greater care and I will feed you. Then whatever you feel like, you can give it to me. So in this way, Janmashtami, Ekadashi, I will perform. I will eat, but suppose it is another tithi has touched it, then I will take something and perform Mahadvadashi. Sometimes it happens, sometimes Ekadashi. Smartas do the Ekadashi, next day we all do. Sometimes in Mahadvadashi there is fasting. Why Mahadvadashi there is fasting? Because Dwadashi touched the Ekadashi. Ekadashi ended with 12 noon, but there Dwadashi touched it. So Mahadvadashi is performed. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 7th chapter, 30 to 32, it is stated, one must accept the bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him with great devotion and faith. Whatever one has in one's possession, should be offered to the spiritual master. And in the association of saintly persons and devotees, one should worship the Lord, hear the glories of the Lord with faith, glorify the transcendental qualities and activities of the Lord, always meditate on the lotus feet of Lord and worship the deity of the Lord strictly according to the injunctions of the Shastra and the Guru. One should always remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his localized representation as the Paramatma, who is situated in the core of everyone's heart, every living entity's heart. Therefore, one should offer respect to every living entity according to that living entity's position or manifestation. So in Bhagavatam also, clear instructions are given that one should serve Lord and the spiritual master with great care. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, Kavi Muni, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 34th verse, one of the 9 Yogendras speaks to Nimi, the king of Videha, as follows. Even ignorant living entities can very easily come to know the Supreme Lord if they adopt those means prescribed by the spiritual master, by the Supreme Lord himself. The process recommended by the Lord is known as Bhagavad Dharma or devotion service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the process which is recommended, and the process is be unsatisfied in devotional service. Hanker to know more. Just keep a count how many questions are you asking. In a month, how many spiritual questions we have asked. So we should keep a count of it. Am I eager to ask the questions? If not, then I'll accumulate sins. And if the speaker is not interested in asking questions, बस question mission कुछ नहीं पूछने का, चलो बंद करो, no questions, then he will lose whatever piety he had. I still remember when we did Bhakti Shastri, there was a teacher who used to, in the beginning itself, he used to say, no questions, nobody should ask questions. I used to think, what is this? Why is he saying like this? He used to say, no questions, nobody will ask any questions. And then we used to be quiet, okay, hear and go away. So that is not the mood. Very clear instruction is given here. If a person doesn't answer, he loses piety. If a person doesn't ask, he loses, he accumulates sins. So both loses the piety. That is why question answer session, the most important in the class is not just rendering the class. The most important and the challenging session is the question answer session. Because it is like you just throw a ball and you are beating. That is child game. You put a googly ball. Then how expert is the batsman? That googly ball is the question answer session. Actually, those who are buddhus, they are not interested in asking questions. Those who are intelligent, they put this googly ball. Your intelligence is seen by your how expert you are in asking questions. And the intelligence of the speaker is how expert he is in answering the questions. Even if he's not a problem. He is humble to say that I don't know this answer. Let me ask my seniors. So in this way, here we'll stop because it's a very long purpose. See, many of the questions are answered. Many of our Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Bhagavat actually purifies our dirty consciousness. Chaitanya Bhagavat is meant for progressing in devotional service. That is why it is the Grantha for the devotees. Because even in devotional life, we tend to commit mistakes, and we don't know where we are committing mistakes. So even though we are chanting, trying to progress, we see that our boat is still anchored in the same place. Why it is not progressing ahead? So Bhagavatam teaches us, especially Chaitanya Bhagavat, which contains Bhagavatam quotations and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentary, especially Vrindavan Das Thakur's comment, written by Vrindavan Das Thakur, commentary by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This will improve our consciousness and purify our consciousness. Hare Krishna. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you for the class.
You always accumulate piety.
Mataji, in the beginning of the class, text 42, you discussed about the Smartha Dharma and the Shakta Dharma. And
Yeah.
there one line was written, ultimately they give the threefold miseries of material existence. And then another further on, there is a line, their fruits are temporary. So wahan tak theek hai. And they ultimately yield bad results. Now, what would be these bad results? Would these bad results are indicating here the threefold miseries and the entanglement in the
Shine
world, or
punya martalokam vishanti. Simple.
means
Shine punya martalokam vishanti.
birth, death, old age, that all?
Yes, yes. Once the
So,
piety is over,
uh-huh.
where will that person come? Again in the same track.
Yeah, he'll be kicked out of this work once the party is over. Okay. Then next point was that the fruit of cultivating Bhagavad Dharma is the awakening of living entities, eternal, unadulterated auspiciousness. So here, that means in every class, the preacher should not only should see that whatever he is speaking should take the audience nearer to the Lord. That content should be of that sort. Where there is glories of Bhakti Rani discussed, there are glories of Krishna and glories of devotees of Krishna. So is this the objective of this line? Awakening of living entities, eternal, unadulterated auspiciousness.
Yes.
So it is the same
The
thing.
mood of preaching is
Mhm.
to come closer to Krishna and bring people closer to Krishna.
Yes.
If that is the mood, wonderful. If the mood is
sorry.
if the mood is getting appreciation or all these things, then that is not the right mood.
No, that is not
Mood
preaching
should
at
be
all.
for teaching to come closer to Krishna.
Yeah. And the third point is, Mataji, you said about asking questions and all that, and then one should humbly say that I don't know the answer. Then what about those preachers who say that who take only limited questions because of the limitedness of the time availability or something like that, and
He
they
should
say,
progress the next day. He can say that next day I can take your classes. I can take your questions.
Okay, that's a good
Or
answer.
you can call me, because there are others who wants to go to office then.
Yeah. Okay.
So
good
he can take their questions in
call me or put the question in the group.
Yeah, in person or in group, whatever.
And the last point is that regarding that devotee of the Lord is questioned by another devotee, and then he does not explain, and then he has lost accumulated piety over the last 100 verses lost. But Mataji, whatever piety, it is written here, whatever piety he has accumulated over the last 100 verses all lost. This already this devotee has nullified his all this effect of the piety. That is so. Then
Now he starts accumulating. Now he starts accumulating. Whatever done is gone. Fine. But now new things, new karmas, ahankara, new karmas. Karma is not lost. Karma will be there. The moment ahankara is there, again the karma starts.
But then Mataji, he is under the control of Krishna now instead of Paramatma.
Because yes, he is under the control of Krishna. The moment pride enters, what happens?
Krishna
the moment pride enters. Again, this law of nature will not leave a person.
That is why Maya is so
Mama Maya Duratya, very difficult.
That is why Maya is so strong.
Yeah.
And last point, you said about Smartha Dharma and Shakta Dharma, again coming back to that. And you said that they don't do bhakti, etc., and they go into entanglement and all that. But what if this Smartha Dharma and Shakta Dharma is doing little bhakti? Because we know that anything which we are getting in this world, it is because of some bhakti done in some form or the other in this birth or previous birth. Because without bhakti, you cannot get a result. That is already established. So what if this Smartha Dharma and Shakta Dharma is doing little bhakti? Then will they not be called Mishra Bhakta?
There is not bhakti. That is upasana.
Upasana means worship.
Worshipping devatas.
No, then that Krishna already says, if you worship devatas, you will go to Devlok.
So that Smartha Dharma is that only.
अच्छा, तो
Smart,
धर्म है. Okay, okay. हाँ, got
but
it,
they
yeah.
take Krishna. It is not that they don't take Krishna. They also perform Ekadashi. But then they are more interested in their activities rather than loving Krishna. So that is why that is karma mishrit bhakti or jnana mishrit bhakti.
Karma Mishra Bhakti, it will
Sorry,
be
sorry, sorry, sorry.
Bhakti Mishra Karma,
Bhakti
because
mishrit karma,
yeah,
bhakti mishrit jnana. Yes, bhakti
Karma
mishrit
Bhakti
jnana. So what they are
Mishra.
doing, there for them, priority or predominance is more of karma.
Yes, the predominant factor is of karma. Therefore, karma will come at the end. So it will be Bhakti Mishra Karma. Bhakti
Yes,
Mishra
yes.
Karma.
Bhakti mishrit karma, bhakti mishrit
Yeah.
jnana.
If Bhakti was more predominant, then it would have been
Haan,
Karma
karma
Mishra
mishrit.
Bhakti. Bhakti.
Yes.
That way. Yeah. Okay, Mata. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Anyone else?
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा माता जी, वंडरफुल क्लास। माता जी, अगर कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछता है और मगर जो क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं उनको हम बहुत अच्छे से सुनते हैं, तो भी हमारी प्रायोरिटी चली जाएगी कि
बहुत बढ़ेगी, बहुत बढ़ेगी,
और माता जी
आप इंक्लाइंड हैं, वो सुनने के लिए इंक्लाइंड है।
अच्छा। और दूसरी बात कि माता जी, अगर हम क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछते मगर हमने कंप्लीटली मतलब मन से तो सरेंडर कर दिया है कि हम सेवा करेंगे, कि जो भी भगवान करते वो सही है, हमें मालूम, मतलब वो हम लोग ने, अगर मैंने सोच लिया है कि मेरे भगवान जो करते वो सही होता है, और जो भी मैं सुनती हूँ बस वो मुझे एकदम स्मूथिंग लगता है, तो अगर मुझे क्वेश्चन नहीं आते माता जी कि मैं क्या पूछूं ऐसा, तो
अगर
क्या
हमें
करूं?
नहीं मालूम हो रहा है मुझे क्या पूछना चाहिए, तो सिंपल, अगर हमें भक्ति हमारे गुरु से है, अगर हमें भक्ति हमारे भगवान से है, तो ये क्वेश्चन समझ में आ रहा है कैसे कैसे पूछना चाहिए। तो सिंपल एक ही क्वेश्चन होता है कि जब सेवा मिलता है तो उसे और लेना है और सेवा के लिए ही पूछना है। क्या सेवा? देखो प्रिय प्रभुपाद तो दादा घुमा फिरा कर कुछ क्वेश्चन तो पूछे नहीं, एक ही पूछते थे, मैं कैसे सेवा करूं। तो ये भी एक प्रश्न ही है ना। एक्चुअली हम प्रश्न जब पूछते हैं वो क्यों पूछते हैं? ताकि वो सब्जेक्ट अच्छी तरह से समझे, और अगर समझ में आ रहा है तो और इसको हमारे जीवन में कैसे उतारे, इसीलिए प्रश्न होता है। प्रश्न और उत्तर एक आर्टिफिशियल ये नहीं है। इस प्रश्न से मुझे कितना लाभ मिलने वाला है, दूसरों को कितना लाभ मिलने वाला है, हम ये पांडित्य का प्रदर्शन नहीं है। इसमें हम और अच्छी तरह से कितना विनम्र बने और हम इसको कैसे समझे अच्छी तरह से और कैसे सेवा करें, हमारे जीवन में इसको कैसे उतारे। तो कोई प्रश्न ऐसा कि नहीं कि अभी 100 जन अटेंड कर रहे हैं, 100 के 100 प्रश्न पूछेंगे क्या? नहीं। ठीक है। जय मोहन प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण
माता जी। थैंक यू माता जी।
हाँ वसंतानी प्रभु।
Mata ji, I have a small question, connected with what discussion happened between you and Sachdev Prabhu. Mata ji, you are talking about Bhakti Mishrit Karma and Bhakti Mishrit Jnana. Now, in Krishna consciousness also, we say we must do karma. We should not leave karma at all, but we should devote our karma to Krishna in all the sense. So, is this also not karma mixed bhakti?
देखिए, जिसको आप ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस दे रहे हो, सिंपल, both are Mishran only, that is both are not Shuddha Bhakti. Which has been given more importance? Are you worshipping to achieve success in your karma? Then for you karma is important. Then that is known as Bhakti Mishrit Karma. You are praying Lord so that you can get success in your work. But because I am engaged as a Grihastha, okay, then what I can do? I can purify my activities by doing everything for Krishna, so that one day I achieve pure devotional service. That is Bhakti Mishrat Karma. So don't get confused. Which is predominant in your consciousness? Getting some fruitive result is predominant? No problem. But that is not pure devotional service. That will not lead to pure devotional service. But Bhakti Mishrit Karma, if done very carefully under the expert guidance, will lead to pure devotional service.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Jai Mohan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Very good.
You can hear me, Mataji?
Yes, yes.
Mataji, you said anything that is talked about Krishna brings you closer to Krishna is preaching,
Yes.
right? So anything that is other than that is not preaching.
Anything other than that should be yena kena prakarena, bringing person closer to Krishna. Like suppose you tell, hey, yahan acha jhadu maro. So one day you are giving a class on kaise jhadu marna hai. Now that is also closer to Krishna only. कैसे worship करना है, कैसे झाड़ू मारना है, कैसे administration करना है.
No, my thing was something different. Like you have these missionaries, okay? They preach.
Missionaries, okay, missionaries. They are doing social work. They will get piety. They will get piety. They will get some piety. Hold on. But it is not our goal. That is why it is said, smart dharma. What has been told? Smart dharma, Shaiva dharma, Shakti dharma. What is that goal? The goal is what? The goal is just
Krishna
getting,
prema.
no. For them, is the Krishna prema or what?
No,
Smart
no.
dharma. So there are many missionaries who are doing. That missionary will not achieve that supreme goal.
No, but we don't call it also preaching, no then.
क्यों preaching का अर्थ क्या है? दूसरे को समझाना. अभी वो एक टेररिस्ट भी preaching करता है, मालूम है आप? एथिस्ट भी preaching करता है, लेकिन वो real preaching नहीं है.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay.
Like धर्म, सबको धर्म बोल रहे हैं भाई, वैष्णव को भी धर्म बोल रहे हैं, शाक्त को भी धर्म बोल रहे हैं. धर्म एक कॉमन शब्द है, कहाँ अप्लाई करना है that we have to see.
ठीक है. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Stop here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare.